What's up, gamers?
What's up,
Back
everybody?
again. John
And Jay.
here at Guerrilla Games. Gonna run down, what's been going on in gaming, basically. So let's dive into it.
Yeah, lots of awesome
It's
games.
been nuts this month.
Yeah, exactly.
This month has been crazy.
Like usually the October, November, like right before the holidays is when you get all these awesome
huge
AAA
push
titles.
for stuff.
This one though, it's just been like every other week. It's just been like, oh, here's a new awesome game.
Yeah.
Like it started with Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS4. Which I don't actually own a PS4, so I wasn't really too excited about it. But I got a little bit of playtime here in the store, and I've liked what I played of it. It seemed really cool. You know, it's a really awesome sci-fi universe that they've created.
Yeah.
It's also like sort of mixing in the prehistoric, dinosaur kind of stuff. So
Yeah, Horizon is my staff pick of the month.
yeah.
I absolutely love this game. I wasn't sure if I was going to. I saw it at E3 last year, and it looked cool, but I wasn't super stoked for it. And then, like a week before it came out, I started seeing like all the trailers and the buzz for it really intensifying. I was like, okay, this looks really cool. And then when it dropped and I started playing it, it's like everything I want in a game. It feels like Far Cry Primal kind of meets Tomb Raider, which are two games I just absolutely love. And so this was like right up my alley, and I played the heck out of it until we sold out of it.
Yeah.
And luckily we got a few more copies in, so I've been able to dive back into it. But it's stellar.
Yeah.
I give it 2 thumbs up, way up.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think the one stopping point I have is I can't tell if the lead actress, if the prompt for her was to be stoic, or if those are just how she's delivering the line.
Yeah.
Where I think it's really, if they want her to be like, we want you to be stoic and we want you to like, all of your lines we want you to deliver without like a ton of emotion, then it's perfect. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it totally fits with the character too.
Yeah, it does.
Because
she's totally like an orphan. And,
exactly, yeah.
So there's that whole thing.
So I could see a couple people being like, oh, the acting is so flat. Well, it's like, well, I don't really think so. I think that's just kind of the direction that they decided to take it.
Yeah, I think it works too. I don't have an issue with much of anything in the game, really. I like the gameplay is really smooth, really solid. The storyline really has grabbed me personally. I think it's a really good story, and that's one of my main driving factors in games is the storyline. So the fact that it's got this awesome storyline too is quite compelling to me.
Yep.
I love it all the way around. So the gameplay, how would you describe it? It's like I said, it's kind of like Far Cry meets Tomb Raider. There's a little bit of puzzle solving here and there. There's definitely a lot of bow and arrow action, which is totally cool.
There's some like light stealth aspects to it.
Yeah, there is.
It's not definitely not. It's not like Metal Gear Solid status, but it's kind of similar to like Assassin's Creed, where it's like you're trying to sneak up on people as opposed to like
from behind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just love that. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that was awesome. And then right after that, the Switch dropped along with Zelda. Which
it's just a game changer.
It's game of the decade, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's gotten from everybody else besides us. It's gotten perfects across the board.
Exactly.
Almost. It's just ridiculous how good this game is, and it really sucks because I really like Horizon.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I really love Zelda too, and so whenever I sit down to play some games, it's like this conundrum that I have, like what am I going to play? And
exactly, yeah.
And it sucks, but it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, there's way too many good things out. It's
Right.
like, all right, sure, like an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally have not owned a Nintendo console since the original Wii came out.
Ooh.
And I only played.
Well, so you only missed the Wii U.
I only missed the Wii U, but the thing is, I owned a Wii. I didn't own a GameCube. I had an N64, didn't own a GameCube. Got a Wii just to play Smash Brothers, and then like Metroid, and that was it. So I haven't played a Zelda game on console since Ocarina of Time.
Oh wow!
So I've played a bunch of the handheld ones, which I loved. I loved Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. So this was the first time that I had played a console one in over almost 20 years.
Okay, so as someone coming back into it, what do you think?
It's a lot. Like all of the different buttons each do like 4 or 5 different things.
Yeah.
So I would say at least for me, the first like 5 or 6 hours were me just struggling with the controls to be like,
No, I feel you on that.
Where
yeah.
it's like, okay, so in order to change your bow, you have to hit this button and then this button and then take this bow. And if you're in the middle of combat and your bow breaks, you have to pick a new
Right.
bow. You can't just automatically select the next one. So at first I was really kind of turned off by it because I was just like, I felt like I was spending more time struggling with the controls than with everything else. And then eventually when I got used to that, I really did start to enjoy it. And I think the really the turning point for me was when you start fighting some of the divine beasts, and those boss fights are awesome.
Yeah.
I think they're all very cinematic. I think they're all very well done, and I think it reminds me a lot of kind of like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah,
when you do those.
Yeah, when you're going into the beasts and climbing all over them and stuff and trying to,
And so that was kind of the turning point for me, where I went from being like, I don't really know about this game to like, this game's awesome.
Right. I liked it from the get-go. I kind of had some of the same issues you had with the controls, but I think most of it is I'm mainly an Xbox player.
Yeah.
And so every time it told me to hit A, I was
hitting something else.
I was hitting B, and I was going back, and it just got super frustrating.
Well, and that's
I got over that because everything else about the game is just
exactly. It's an awesome game, and like one of my like primary gripes, which is this is really stupid, but like nowadays if you think of the like layout of a controller as like a diamond, everybody uses the A or the X button as the jump. Like that's your default jump button. That's just what it is.
It's Y.
In this one, it's Y, and sprint is X. Where most places use when you click down to sprint. Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that like, because we at least for me
as other
I'm
gamers,
trained to think this one way, and then Zelda was like, actually we're going to give you this control scheme. So
I think once you get the hang of it though, it works really well. So.
Once you figure it out and you get it kind of into your muscle memory, it's great. It
works really good. But yeah, the gameplay is totally solid. It's a departure from traditional Zeldas, but it's still Zelda.
Exactly.
It hasn't lost Zelda at all.
For sure.
You still know, obviously, the lore is all there and everything. But when they first announced it, and they made it sound like it's going to be like Skyrim meets Zelda, which it really kind of is.
The Zelda Scrolls,
the Zelda
as
Scrolls,
I've been calling it.
Yeah. It was like, okay, well, I hope you don't lose that Zelda charm, but they really didn't. It's all still there, and it's just there's so much to do. It's just ridiculous. There's crazy stuff in it that I didn't even like. It's so big, you feel like you're never going to explore it all. Like, did you know you can pick up fallen star fragments? If you watch the sky and you see a falling star hit,
it happened to me.
You can go find it.
I marked it on my map to pick it up later, and then I guess it was gone.
Okay.
Like, I was walking somewhere, and I saw it, and there was, like, a beacon, and so I was like, oh, well, I can't get there right now. So I marked it on my map and went back, and then it was gone.
Yeah. I think you have to go like right there to get it.
Yeah.
But,
well, see, now I know that.
Yeah. But there's just so much little stuff like that. Like the whole if you're carrying metal during a thunderstorm, you get hit by lightning. You do just all these little intricacies.
There are
these that just make it such a good, complete.
There are these three mazes where if you complete them, you get like a piece of armor.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know they existed until I found the third one. And then I was like, oh, this gave me a piece of armor. There must be two other ones. Yeah. And then I went back out to my world map, and I was like, how did I not see these?
Yeah.
I was like, there are these giant things just hanging out on the map that I apparently just, like, blew straight past.
There's so much to do.
But there's, exactly.
You can't, I don't blame you, you know? It's just like, there's so much to do in the game. It's just insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the second entry in the last. It's been a month, right? When Horizon came out the beginning of.
I believe so. Yeah.
Of the month, so yeah, I think it did, and then Zelda, or no, it didn't, because Zelda came out right at the beginning of the month, so it must have been the end of last month. But anyways, within the last 30 to 40 days, this all happened, and then we got Mass Effect,
which is. I've been waiting a super long time for. I love Mass Effect. I love pretty much everything that BioWare's put out. Like. I always tell people, like, Jade Empire is, like, my favorite game of all time, which a lot of people are just like, what even is that game?
It's Jade Empire.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good game. You should
it is. You should. Absolutely. If you haven't played it, you should 100% check it out. So I was super stoked for Mass Effect. I read a couple of the preliminary reviews, and they were a little sketchy.
Well, yeah, there was a lot floating around about the character models and some of the animations.
And that is definitely, like, I guess what a lot of people are saying is that they basically had to come up with a game engine for this game. And so between having to come up with a game engine and coming up with this game at the same time, it does feel a little incomplete.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I've still had a really good time with it. Probably, like you said, the two biggest complaints that I've heard is like the animation is really weird, and then like nobody likes the dialogue because it's very like Joss Whedon, Firefly, Avengers. Like everybody has snappy one-liners.
I don't mind that. There's a couple characters I've ran across who the dialogue was a little wonky. It wasn't even like that. Like it was too comical or anything. It was just a little wonky. Like it's like what did you just say? That didn't even make sense. But they fixed they patched it right at the beginning there and fixed a lot of the animations. They didn't fix all of them. There definitely is some glitchiness to it, for sure.
Some load screens, that kind of stuff.
And just some like popping and stuff like during like transitions and stuff. But it's nothing that breaks the game for me.
My thing with Mass Effect is they've yet to really release a perfect Mass Effect game. In my opinion,
they really have. Yeah,
like the first one I say is probably the best because overall I think it delivers what you want.
Yeah.
I
really like 2 though.
I think the second one is great, other than the fact that they make you play that stupid mini game.
Yeah.
Where you have to like probe all the planets.
Yeah.
And so you have to balance like how much am I willing to have to suffer through in order to play this game and enjoy it.
Right.
And so every time I sit down to play like Mass Effect 2, I'm always like, oh man, like like Martin Sheen is in it. There's like all these awesome characters. It's a great story. And then like they'll be like, okay, in order to fight the Reapers, you need X amount of all these minerals, and this is the only way you can get it. And I was just like, I don't even want to do this anymore. The third one, I really liked a lot. Everybody complains about the ending. So as long as you're not like too terribly concerned about the ending, I think overall play value.
It was a good game. I think a good game.
I think the third one is probably
the ending was
the best in my opinion. Like the first one is good, but it's just like they just added so much onto the other ones that it just kind of pales in comparison. Yeah. And so now this one, it's like the combat is a lot more dynamic. The character choices are a lot more fluid. But you have to deal with all these animation things and all this other stuff.
I've heard a lot of people are complaining about the storyline now too. I've been seeing online because they're like, you left this, you left the other galaxy behind, which had all these different storylines you could have followed that would have tied it all kind of in. And so I can kind of see where they're coming from, but as a sci-fi nerd, I love the concept of like arc ships going out and like colonizing new galaxies. So the story has really resonated with me. So I'm totally digging the storyline of the game.
I think like the opening little bit where you like land on the planet and you're finding out about this planet that you're calling like the new Earth. Yeah. I think that's awesome. Yeah. And just like running around, you're like trying to find all the people on your away team and all this other stuff. I think they did that really well. So far, all the different planets that I've gone to, they've all seemed very distinct. They all have different identities. So overall, I said I really like it. I can understand why some people would not. But again,
I feel like it's got a good sense of survival to it too. Because like when you read spoilers, if you haven't played it yet and you don't want to know,
but skip ahead like a minute.
At the beginning there, when you finally go back to the what do they call it? The Arc ship?
The Nexus.
The Nexus. Yeah. And it's like half shut down because like they haven't had anyone arrive yet and stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is a major issue. Yeah. I felt like that was really well done. Like you actually had this sense of, oh my gosh, like you walk into the ship and all the lights are off and the AI is like all glitchy and weird and stuff. Yeah. It's like that drew me in. I was like, this is cool. This is really awesome. So I've been enjoying Mass Effect. I don't know. I don't. Out of those 3 games, though, I think it's probably third on my list right now. Yeah. And I think Zelda and Horizon are like.
Yeah. For
every
sure.
day, it's like, which one am I going to play?
I was not into Horizon as much as other people, so that one's kind of like falling down the power rankings. But I can definitely see the appeal.
Yeah. So that was the big games that came out this over the last month. Something else dropped today.
Yes.
So let's talk about Nathan Fillion. I mean Destiny 2.
Yeah, right. Good old Malcolm Reynolds.
This trailer was awesome. I wasn't a big Destiny fan. I will be completely honest,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a big story-driven gamer.
Yeah.
And the story, when that game dropped, disappointed me
Mm-hmm.
so immensely. And the fact that they just totally misdirected Peter Dinklage. It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. They just lost me.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big Destiny fan.
I like
and you
Destiny
said that
more so than the...
the expansions really made it
Yeah,
better, too.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
it just, I never got back into it. But that being said, this trailer, and maybe it's just that I love Nathan Fillion so much, but it's got me stoked again
Mhm.
for Destiny. So, I don't know, what did you think?
So my big thing is, like, I was already excited for Destiny 2. They really couldn't have done anything to get me more excited for it.
Mhm.
And also, I've been burned by good trailers for bad games in the past
That's
already.
true. Yeah, well, the first one
like,
for me.
Yeah. So all they've really shown you is, like, an FMV of something that doesn't even happen.
Yeah, so it is totally a teaser.
Yeah.
There's no gameplay or anything in this trailer.
I do know...
There's a little bit of story.
What I am excited about Destiny 2, though, is I heard that a bunch of people from BioWare are working on Destiny 2, which some people are saying is why Mass Effect Andromeda isn't as great, is because they've kind of been cannibalizing all the BioWare people. But that's, whatever. But anyway, Destiny 2, I am excited for. I'm a huge fan of the first one. I can't wait for the second one. I more so like Destiny because of the whole, like, cooperative first-person shooter aspect to it, more so than the storyline.
Right.
I mean, like, the storyline was kind of ancillary. I just liked going on the dungeon raids with people over and over again. They kind of added more story in afterwards, and then it kind of all tied it together. And the final expansion they released for it was just basically all, like, thematic stuff. So hopefully they keep going in that right direction and realize that, unlike like Call of Duty, which is just like, shooting people in the head for 16 hours online, and here's like an hour-long storyline, that they needed a little bit more to
well, with an MMO,
people.
you really do.
Yeah.
I was never the guy in World of Warcraft that went on the big raids either. I was the guy who did all the quests and stuff and wanted to dig into the lore and the story.
For sure.
So you gotta, with an MMO, I feel like you do need to appeal to both crowds. And I think they did really appeal to that side that wants to go raiding and stuff.
I think a good example is like Borderlands.
Yeah.
Like Borderlands did a really good job of treading that line of here's a really good story and here's some good online stuff.
That game was really fun. With
I think Destiny took the whole online cooperative thing and really pushed that, but they kind of left behind the other half of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What do you think about Destiny? It feels like, how long has the game been out? 2-3 years?
I don't even remember. Probably. I was still living in Los Angeles when it came out, so it's got to be at least 3 years.
Do you feel like it's a little too soon for Destiny 2? Because, I mean, if you look at something like World of Warcraft or like the Final Fantasy online game, the MMOs, they go a long time before you even start talking about making a sequel. I mean, they're not even talking about a World of Warcraft sequel yet, Yeah, so,
I think it's also just...
why not just keep adding
different
on add-ons?
Because I think some of it is that there were a lot of complaints about the first one, and I think it makes more sense, at least the way that they have Destiny structured, to just release an entirely new thing rather than just try to keep layering things on top of it. Like, it's kind of like Cataclysm for World of Warcraft, when they're just like, we're just going to completely change the planet.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see how some people would be turned off by, like, we're just going to scrap everything that was Destiny 1 and then move on.
Well, they're saying you can bring your avatar with you.
Sure.
But not gear and stuff, so at least showed that. But
I think that, especially from when I first started playing to now, it's, like, very different.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the gear has changed, the way that they do it has changed. And so I think, especially when you see, you really see spikes in players for, like, World of Warcraft or other things when they release a new expansion or a new upgrade or something like that. So I think from a business standpoint, why wouldn't you?
Right.
So
Interesting. Well, that's about all the video game news for
Mhm.
now. We had been doing this show for a little while,
Mhm.
and then kind of Christmas hit, and we got crazy
Yeah.
around here and just kind of fell off. But we want to start doing this every week, and just kind of running down, the new news for the week and stuff. So
For sure.
this one we had a lot to cover, so
Yeah.
this one might be a little bit longer than ones in the future.
Yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, we're hoping to bring in special guests and stuff like that. We got a third guy who actually is probably going to be joining us too. Most of the time as well. So look for all that, and we will catch you guys next time.
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube or follow us on all of our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. We're all over the web. So check us out there, and come on and check us out in the store, and we'll talk more games with
Absolutely.
you too here. So
For sure.
that's all we got.
Yep.
See you guys next week.
See you guys later.
Bye.